have to tell you kind of a long story to get to it. I'm sorry. We were blessed with having very, very amazing covers in the beginning. Because whenever you're an author, you normally don't get to choose the title of your book, nor do you get to choose the cover. And we were fortunate enough to be able to choose the titles because my mom was teaching high school, and she would be on the phone with the editor while in class and say to her class, which title do you like? New York thinks we should have blank, and I think we should have marked. And they'd be like, marked, is that what you like? Ah. And so, you know, we got our way on. We get our way on the titles now. She had to write them. Yes, I'm sure she did. Everyone gets 50 extra credit points if you say mark. But normally you don't get to choose the title or the covers. So we were fortunate enough to have amazing covers on the first 3 or 4 books. But now we get to be participants in choosing the way the covers look. They sent us Hidden's cover. It was not good. Yes, no. It was bad. And we sent it back. That's why it's not out yet. Or I'm sure it would already be out. But as soon as all of that gets, you know, fixed and everything, it'll be out. I can't wait to see because y'all know on the inside of the jackets for the hardbacks, there are all those posters. And some of them you can fit together and they make one big poster. Yeah. Uh-huh. I don't even remember which ones they are. But I have them put together in my office. Like tapes stuck together. Very classy. Very nice. But they have and I can't wait to see what that's going to do too. And the little videos that they do. Do you guys watch the little videos online? Yeah, I like, those are good. Now you can't I know that they have changed the people. I know that people have changed. That is not my fault either. And I know there's someone out here who's emailed me about it. But I didn't choose any of the people. I'm sorry. Because I totally would have chosen some of them differently. For sure. Yeah. So, I think that I'll open it up to questions now. If anybody has. I really want to do with the Harry Potter people and because I don't really recognize any of the Hunger Games people. And what they did is pick people who haven't been.
Well, the Hunger Games people, they were already established actors.
Oh, were they? See, apparently don't watch enough television. First of that bubble right there.
Well, I mean, yeah, they weren't like
Selena Gomez up there, yeah. Yeah, that's what I would like. So I don't really have a name because I don't know any of the people. So that's so that they can grow with the movies. We have a 5-movie contract so that it can grow up with the movies. We'll grow up. I mean, the books really take. Isn't that just terribly exciting how well those have done? It's one of the craziest things ever. I was watching Conan. It's okay. It's okay. See, I have no idea. Because I wouldn't imagine there are going to be 12 movies. That seems like a lot of movies. I would be tired with it myself. I would think so. And especially because each of the books, some of them take place over like 2 days.
Yeah, I think they would probably find the first couple.
Yeah. Yes. So I would think that they would combine probably the first, probably like the first at least 3, I would say. Yeah. That's what I would do. I don't like movies. I have no idea. Yes.
As an author, how hard is it to want to kill you off characters?
Very.
Because I've always wanted to ask someone that.
Oh yeah, that's true. I cry. And Betrayed whenever Stevie Ray dies. Oh my gosh. I was in Tahlequah going to Northeastern State University, so I was like 45 minutes away from my mom. Worked at GNC, and I was sitting in the back room, and she had sent it to me, and I was reading it on my break. snot cried in the middle of GNC. I was so upset. I didn't talk to her for 3 days, and she kept texting. Because my mom is the type of person, she'll send the manuscript to me, and then if I answer the phone, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm taking a shower." She's like, "But why aren't you reading the book?" I'm like, "But." Or I'm eating. No, you don't need to be doing that. Just read the book. Oh my goodness. So she's frantically, "What are you doing? Why aren't you emailing me?" I'm like, "You killed. You're right." I cry every time. And then whenever Jack.
Is it hard to get, like, how do you choose who gets to live, who gets to die, why?
My mom does that. And she tells me ahead of time. She's like, "Oh, by the way." I know, right? She's like, "Oh, by the way, this person I think has to die. This person has to really, that's how the decision is made over coffee or something." Exactly. Yes. Yes. No, and if nobody died and everybody was, "Oh, we're so happy." No, I wouldn't want to read that. You're perfectly normal and happy. I do not care. Good for you. Yes. My series. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to have a series because those are really hard. But that's what I think I'm going to do. The one I'm working on right now, have any of you read Ellen Hopkins? I know that she came not too long ago. Yes. How she's written more in like a poetry rather than prose. That's what I'm doing because I love poetry. Poetry is my favorite way to write. And I'm calling it a fairy tale. It's going to have, in my head, and I already actually have some of these up, it's going to have illustrations. We have a very talented artist from Lithuania, actually, who is the person who created all the original art for the T-shirts that's being adapted by the T-shirt people to be T-shirted. I have no idea. She's been doing a bunch of my illustrations, and it's going to sound a little crazy because it's not finished, and so I don't really know what it totally is about. But it's not set in our reality, but it's set on a planet like ours, and it follows a teenage girl who lives underground in an underground community, and there are creatures above who are their predators. And it's kind of, she escapes from underground because she's not being treated well, and goes above ground, and it's her kind of Romeo and Juliet with one of the creatures above. And it's about like uniting two separate species to live peacefully.
Yes, that
Very
happened.
lovely. I know. Thank you. It's my baby. It's separated in chapters, but it's one long poem. It's an epic. Thank you. It's an epic. It's an epic love story by Kristen.
The word is dead. The word is dead. The word is dead.
Huh?
The word epic got killed by Cartoon Network.
Actually, Cartoon Network. Whenever we were first shopping around to do, I will call you. I promise. I call you. Okay. Whenever we were first shopping around for movie producers, and we thought, "Oh, this would make a great TV show. Let's try to go, that direction." And Cartoon Network got a hold of it and said, "Oh my gosh, this would be great. We want to do this so much, but let's make the main character a boy."
No.
No.
What?
No.
No.
And my mom looked at me and said, "But what happens if Buffy would have been Biffy?" I know. Okay. Side note. I apologize. Biffy, the Vampire Slayer, with his team. Like, no, I don't think so. Yes, young man.
It was like, if you're making like a Romeo and Juliet, how are people going to do it? Because you know how Romeo and Juliet, they always have, "Oh, everybody's alright."
Oh, mine are not happy everybody's alright. If anyone, the story is based on the short story I did in the Kisses from Hell anthology with Harper Teen. And if you read that, oh, she has it right there. If you read that, in the end, everybody's dead. Great ending. It was. I thought it was fantastic. So I tend to not that this would end that way, because my editors keep telling me, you can't just kill everybody and then stop. That's just not how books are written. Not how your books are written. But, so I don't do happy. I don't do happy, but it's not going to be all happy schmappy like that, I promise. There'll be death and gore. It'll be great. There's some happy. There's a minute amount of. No, there is happy also. There's the love story, I promise. But it's very different from the House of Night. Because I am very different from the House of Night.
Did you come up with the idea about all the native mythology?
That was both of our idea. We live very close to the Cherokee National Heritage Museum is in Tahlequah. And I have some Native American in me. I don't know if you noticed or anything.
Yes!
I might just be a little bit brown, I'm not sure. But, and Oklahoma is very influenced by the Native American culture, and we love our state, and we wanted to make sure to tie that in. And we got in contact with them, and my mom did a bunch of, my mom loves to research. She's the queen of research. If you've read any of her adult novels, in that they're novels written for adults, not just adult novels. That sounds weird. She does lots of research on mythology. She loves to research. I don't love to research. That's why all of my stories are not really set in reality, because you don't have to follow guidelines. If it's your own world, you make up your own rules, and that's what I like to do. But she did lots of research, and she likes to, well, we both like to castize things, where we get things that are true, and then sort of hack them up and put our own spin on them, and that's where, like, Kelowna is based in Cherokee mythology, so is Rephiam, but we tore them to pieces and added our own stuff. Yes.
So, I really do not kind of like writing for and I know that you don't write like the main detail parts, so like how do you like go about saying attach to your story on your like I just like work along and I have a bunch of different stuff going on in my head.
I understand. My mom writes the House of Night books. Normally takes her about 4 to 6 months. The story I'm working on is taking me almost 2 years. I understand. And, okay, there's not really necessarily a right way to write a story. My mom goes from the beginning to the end. I take certain scenes. I just write scenes. And then I kind of piece them all together. Yeah, you got to see, that works. That works for me. It does not work for her at all. And she only writes on the computer. Well, I guess types. And she only types the stories. I have a journal that I keep with me all the time. Are we like twins? Yeah. I keep a
Triplets.
journal with me all the time.
Triplets.
You have to do your own thing.
Yes.
Every
And I just write. There's no wrong way, as long as you get it done. So actually, the rambling thing that you're talking about is not necessarily bad, because what I always tell people when they're suffering from, the writer's block or whatever you want to call it, write anything at all. Write about what you did today. Write about what you see out the window. Write anything, because it gets you writing, and it helps you to stop your internal editor, which is what I have a huge problem with, is telling myself, oh my gosh, that just is awful. That's just so bad. And you have to just train yourself not to do that by just writing all the time. If that means that, I know authors who have, their office is full of Post-it notes from just writing various things. In my phone, if I don't have my journal with me, I have a page that says book lines, and they're not really lines as much as words. Yeah, they're just phrases stuck together in the notes section of my phone. What you can also do is I tell people, like I was talking about earlier, it's a lot easier to write about things that you know. So if your main character or a very influential character is a character you just created, you just pulled him or her out of thin air, it may not work for you. Or if you just want to stick with that person instead of basing the character on yourself or basing the character on somebody you're close to, I take out a piece of paper and I write the favorite color, their hair color, where they would go if they won the lottery, their first car, their favorite thing to eat, anything, because you want to. That may never end up in anything you write, but you have to know who you're writing about. And if you don't know who you're writing about, and if you aren't in touch with your character, it'll be reflected in your story, and you won't be able to emotionally attach yourself, which is a huge part of writing. If I don't love my characters, I'm never going to love my story. Mm-hmm. That was brilliant. Yes. Yes. She asked if I was happy when Lauren died. I was happy when Lauren died. I was. It's like the one death that I was happy about. Like, yay, vengeance. Yes.
One thing you mentioned this afternoon that a lot of the kids were shocked was that they know the books a lot better than you do.
Yes.
And could you explain why that is?
Mm-hmm. Good point, Henry.
We read religiously.
So, obviously I read books. Well, duh. But it's gotten harder, especially now that they're being released every 9 months rather than every 6 months. But once you have so many, they all shove together. I know the story. I can tell you in which the sequence of which things happened, but I can't tell you in Awakened this, and this happened. Like, yeah, that happened before this happened, but I have no idea which book it's in. Someone asked me earlier if it was in Awakened or Destined that Stark did something, and you would know better than I would. We actually had my mom and I, for some editing something, I can't remember, I think we were bringing back a character that we had in the very first books, and we couldn't remember what color her hair was, or it was something like that. And my mom was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to go back through and read our own books, and we're going to have to take out highlighters and take notes, and we wrote them. We decided instead to post the question on Facebook, and hundreds of people were like, oh my gosh, it was this. On this page, you can find it here. So y'all are great. I don't know how you remember that. I can't remember that at all. Of course, we'll do. That's what we're going to. And it's weird because I read all the time, and I actually work in an independent used bookstore in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. And everything I read, I can remember like that. I can remember, oh yeah, in this book, blah 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 happened. You'd love this book. Try it out. I can't remember, but I can't on our own books, and I talk about them all the time. And they're in my house, and I have to look at them every day when I walk by, and I just no idea. No idea. It's the strangest thing ever. Yes. In the series, I really, really, really like Awakened. I was trying to decide between Hunted and Awakened. I really, really like Awakened. Because I really like Kelowna. I like Kelowna. And I know that he's a bad guy. Well, he sort of was a bad guy. Now he's starting to sort of transition.
Sliding scale.
Yes.
Sliding
but
scale.
I really like him. And I think that he's really pretty. I know, right? I was talking about that earlier at a school visit that we were doing about her and Aramis and Kelowna. Oh, what do you all think about Raphael now?
Just love him.
I know. It was really cool. I really liked that. I really like him a lot.
At night.
It was just melt my heart. It was lovely. Yes. I was also happy for Stevie Ray. And you know, I was talking about how the characters choose their own stuff and they kind of do their own thing. As you're writing, Stark was originally brought in for Stevie Ray. Yes, to be Stevie Ray's boyfriend. Either that went terribly awry. Didn't work at all. Okay, you're gonna have to see. You're just gonna have to wait and see.
Are we waiting on this last book just because of the cover? We're waiting on this last book because of the cover?
No, it's not written yet. It's not finished yet. I think that she's on page like 80. I know. It'll be turned in by June, out by October. The process doesn't take very long anymore. No, you're just waiting on the cover to be released. The novella last. And then we may. Oh, man, down. Oh my goodness.
It's a ghost.
Just fell right off there. We may possibly, my mom is probably going to kill me because I don't even know if this is going to happen. Sherry, you'll have to run interference. This is lovely Sherry Rowland's my publicist. You can't let my mom yell at me. We may be doing an novella about Kelowna. Maybe. Yeah, and I love the novellas.
That would be cool. I know. I'll put it in good words.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. I'm not going to get in trouble now. Yes, thank you. And I love the novellas so much. I love Lenovia's Vow. Yeah, it's written in a different, I'm just like leaning on my hair. It's a lot different than the series. Yes, so did I. Oh, no, right. It was great. I love that. And someone asked me earlier why we chose those characters, and I think that they're really important adult characters, and that their stories are worth telling, especially Neferret. I can't wait for y'all to see what happened to her in her past to create such a monster. Yeah.
Do I get points for saying abuse?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Abuse. For sure.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Nothing else. So it was like a non-hint right there. Do I have any other questions? Oh, yes, sir.
Yes. I know I do it when I write, and so does my English teacher when she helps me write over my books when I bring them to her to check. But whenever I have to write for one of my characters in a story, for some reason I can hear them talking to me.
Yes, it's very crazy, isn't it?
Yes.
It's very crazy.
It's like I can hear a male voice, a female voice, a child, and something that sounds like an eldritch abomination just talking to me at once about what they want to say. And one of the times at night when I was typing it on my computer, I could just hear it all at once. I say, everybody shut up. Everybody shut up and get in line.
They do their own thing.
Linda Howard does that too. She had to write a few books. She said Blair took the sock to her.
Yes, good. I'm glad that it's not just us. Oh yeah, love Linda Howard. Yes. I actually cannot read unpublished works. No, I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I don't forward things. That's my publicist. Yeah. You definitely visit my mom's blog because the Writers Market and the Agents Market are two books that will be available at Barnes & Noble or whatever the local bookstore, I'm not sure what it is, or maybe even the library has them, I don't know. They're yearly publications, and they tell you exactly what you need to do to submit your manuscript, like what format it needs to be in, because if it's not in the right format, if it's not in the right packaging, there are a bunch of things that go to it. If it doesn't have the correct cover letters and things, they just won't look at it at all. So you need to make sure that you have all of that correct, and it's a really good idea to try to get an agent first to submit to different agents. And Sherry actually said this earlier today, great point. You can find out a lot about authors' agents and authors' publishers by reading their acknowledgement pages. because they always put their 2 pages at the beginning. I'd like to thank, and you're skip ahead to the. You should read those because they're going to list to you who has helped them get to where they are. And they're going to have their agent, and then you can Google their agent. You can Google Meredith Bernstein. She has a site, and it'll tell you exactly what her submission guidelines are. And if you do it correctly, then she'll look at your manuscript. They have piles of manuscripts. If they see one that is not done correctly, they're going to just take it out. And you may never know. And it's sad, but just, so get those, or look at those 2 books. You can just squat in Barnes & Noble. They're open until 9.
Or you can come to your library.
Yes.
But then we'd have to read.
We have them too.
Oh, good. See? You have them in your fabulous, beautiful library. Thank you. Yes. And you can find submission guidelines. Perfect. That's the way you should go. Yeah, 1 second. Yes. Yeah. That's a lot to do with my mother. It is. Because I wasn't like that. I didn't have a lot of boyfriends. Now I'm married, so I have no boyfriends. And she's not doing a bunch of inappropriate things with all of them. And she's in high school. She's not married. There's nothing that says anywhere that you can't date more than one person at a time. I don't know how she does it because I feel like I would never be able to do that. But more power to her. Go right ahead. Do it if you can. Because a lot of us cannot. I don't have the kind of patience to ever do that. We can do one more question and then I'll give our lovely gifts away. I have to think of some sort of question to ask or something. So that's for the winner.
While you think of a question, just to let you know, she'll be signing books outside, and we have a little table in the lobby where you can meet her, and she'll be happy to take pictures and say hello. The main library does close at 8, so after 8 o'clock, we'll just need to exit out the side door here. And have I solved enough for you to go on the trivia question for that yet, or should I tell you about all the events coming up in April and May? Since we do have a lot of young people here, vacation reading program starts in the middle of May. We're going to start it by showing E.T. on the front lawn. We're bringing in the big 4-foot-tall movie screen. We'll have the movie night to kick things off. The gift for teens this year is an iPad. Read 5 books. Get a chance to win an iPad. Prizes. We'll have Kindle Fires for the younger kids. So all that starts in the middle of May. And we thank AFLAC, who is our big sponsor of our reading program. So, CBLG. It's amazing what a duck can do for a city. You think what AFLAC has given this town, not only in hiring people, but they've given hundreds of thousands of dollars to the library here at other costs. So, and it's all because of the duck.
I have a question. Okay. I do. It's probably not the best question in the whole wide world, but that's okay. I know the answer to it, so it's good enough for me. Okay. And it's the first person who can just tell me, yell it out, whatever. Zoe's best friend in the very first book. Oh, look at you go. I'm throwing this. I'm a horrible thrower. Yay! It was Kayla. Good job. What a number. Thank you all so much. This was great. I loved it.
Thank you all. We'll see you out in the lobby.